And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Friday, 26th June, 2026. Hope you're having a good day. Weekend's coming up. Next week, July 4th, 250th birthday. I will be up in the city. You know, I'm a Mets fan, but the Mets are out of town, so I'm going to go to the Yankee game that Friday night. Saturday, going out to in-laws. Is that what I'm doing? Right. Oh, and Sunday is my grandson's second birthday. That'll be next Sunday. And then we fly back to Florida. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Listen carefully. Changes afoot. In the last couple of days, we've been talking to you about how healthcare has come on and medicals. Housing and housing related. Some of the travel related because oil prices keep going down. I think we even mentioned the consumer staples. But there's more. And you should be listening. This is Investor's Edge. Serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the market, the economy, your job, your industry. All the crazy crap that's going on in D.C. Communists taking over. Stupid, moronic, imbecilic ideas being put into place. And whatever else. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice. Because we're nice. You ready? I think there is every chance that the semiconductor AI and all that crap has topped. You got that? I think there's every chance that the move since April 8th has hit the moment. Inclusive of that is artificial intelligence. And we'll see how it goes. I say that because I'm seeing it. Simple as that. Every dog has its day, and every now and then hits a wall. There'll be some names that are stronger than others. Some names that will hold up better. Some names that go by the wayside, and when we say go by the wayside, it means they have broken support levels or that big, juicy 50-day moving average. We'll keep you abreast. If you own, we're not going to tell you to sell. We're going to say to you, you may want to review it. And anything that is taken out the 50-day should be a big review. And how we measure this is I have about 100 semiconductor stocks on my screen. More than a week ago, I had not one. I take that back. I believe I had one. PLAB that broke badly because that was 3 or 4 weeks ago when it gapped down on earnings. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and then I get to measure what's the importance of this one. Like today, Analog Devices, not an unimportant name, completely cracked the 50-day moving average on volume. How about Tower Semi? Held the 50-day, but pretty much has a good top in there. If it breaks the 50-day, Monolithic Power, MPWR, broke it 3 days ago and worsened today. And my list has gotten bigger. Rambus, NXP Semiconductor broke today. Microchip broke today. Air Test, AEHR, a little bit of the break today. The strongest names coming in. And all I can say is it feels like that last move up into Monday was the last move up for now. We have no idea how bad it gets, how far it goes. We just have a pretty good inkling that it's got some work to do now. This also goes for a lot of artificial intelligence plays. The memory, the data storage, I think they've all put in near-term tops. Seagate today was down $125, 12%. Western on double average volume, Western Digital down 13% today on double average volume. We hadn't seen that before. We'll do our scans over the weekend, get a better feel, but I think on a scale of 1 to 10, we're an 8 on a surety on that. So you may just, I would say, probably not want to do new commitments unless you're a trader. And what do we mean by that? Well, I mean, Western Digital was down $90 today. Who's to say it's not going to bounce $20, $30 Monday and Tuesday before returning to the downside? So I just want to start with that. And again, it's also some of the artificial intelligence plays. I can tell you today, symbol BE, it's been one of those plays, down $56 today. By the way, it was $350 yesterday morning, closed at $253 today. That's BE. I'm just picking out a couple. LITE, below the 50-day now. And I can go on. And again, it's not everything. Some are going to be stronger than others. Some are going to buck the trend. That's how it works. We're just letting you know, as a whole, we think we got a moment. Oh, Texas Instruments also with Analog Devices today. By the way, those two kind of go hand in hand. There are some that held up pretty damn well. Taiwan Semiconductor was down like 20-something today, finished down only 2. We'll recognize that and stay on top of it. And that's how we're going to do it. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. But what's the outcome of that? Well, let me tell you a few things. Number one, a lot of these stocks have moved on what is known as the spend. You know what the spend is? What those big companies are going to spend, and that's why they all went up. Well, you know what happened this week? Apple's raising prices because of the cost of that memory that was caused by the spend. Up next, who else is raising prices? And Outcomes. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. And in different areas for the artificial intelligence, Fix, been a strong name. Down $163 today. That's what we mean. It's going to get interesting. Outcome. Well, there's talk of these companies' stocks that have been killed because of how much they're going to spend, and the expenses and the debt and stuff like that is possibly they'll pull back. And recently, you have had a collapsing software industry in the stock market. Absolutely destroyed. In fact, I believe I read off to you guys yesterday, Microsoft went from 466 down to 350 in 3 weeks and change. That's Microsoft, a mega cap. Oracle, 250 to 149. SAP, this is just in the last 3 weeks. SAP, 200 down to 150. These are the bigger names. Salesforce.com. How about 211 down to 150? Again, 3 weeks. This is probably hit a moment the other way. Number one, they were viciously sold off, viciously oversold, and extended to the downside. The opposite of the overbought and extended to the upside of the semis and the AI. Microsoft today led the charge, up 20, up almost 6% on more than double average volume. And the rest went up. Adobe up 9, Salesforce 8, SAP 7. Interesting enough, Oracle was down 3. But I believe I had said to you there were one group of software stocks that was strong, and that was software security. CrowdStrike, Fortinet, Palo Alto Networks, and a couple of others away from that. One was Datadog, DDOG. Another one was Okta, and by the way, Okta is software security, and the other one was Snowflake. These stocks all gapped up recently and just came down in the last 3 weeks with the whole group. CrowdStrike up 18 today. Well, let me give you a percentage. CrowdStrike was up 3% today. Datadog was up 8% today. Frog, that's the symbol, JFrog, up 11% today. Fortinet, only 1%. OKTA, 4%. Palo Alto, 3 and almost 4. And Snowflake, up 9. Why does it stand out? Because the Nasdaq was down 60 and the Nasdaq 100 was down 322. My software screen that has been beat red is Irish green today, except for Oracle and a couple of others. The worst names, the stocks that have been brutally destroyed, had good days today. HubSpot, one of them, 8%. Intuit, let's call that 5%. AppLovin, let's call that 6-7%. Now remember, these stocks have been destroyed, bludgeoned. Typically, when a turn comes in a group, the things that were strong usually start to move out. Those names I mentioned at the outset, I don't have one at new highs except Fortinet, but that didn't do much today. For software security, there is a symbol, BUG, B-U-G, and it looks just like the software security stocks. I am going to be harping on them going into next week. Just letting you know. Why was the Nasdaq 100 down 322 today, though? It is because, as we stated to you, the Nasdaq 100 major influence from those 8 names. But it's become much more of the semis and the artificial intelligence plays. And they got whacked today. Whacked. Percentage-wise, Micron almost 7. SanDisk, 10.5. The SOX today, down 5.25%. That's what did it. So the influence on them on the indices has picked up. And that's what did the trick. The Nasdaq is below the 50-day moving average. The Nasdaq 100 is not, but gave way a little bit this week. So just letting you know, at least in technology, changing of the guard, and I'm putting a question mark next to that because nothing is 100%. But that's a couple of sore thumbs today. But what else? Just recently, we've been saying to you, better in the medicals that were dead. We even mentioned pharmaceuticals that were dead. But we mentioned to you the best ones, Lilly. What was the other one? That's AbbVie. Guess what? News on Lilly today, up $80. AbbVie, up 8. Johnson & Johnson in the Dow was up 9 today and broke out of a 4-month range. Merck broke out today. Their earnings and sales growth for those two in the Dow, not good, but they both broke out because the group is now on the move. I don't know if it lasts a week, a day, a month, a year. We're just reporting to you that the money flows into the medical complex now is going on. Up next, we'll expound on that. And a couple of other places. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Boom, 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 boom. What else? Money flows into food, drug, beverage, tobacco, household products, so consumer staples. Money flows into insurance. It's a very defensive area. Travelers in the Dow into new high ground, so is Allstate. Did I even put them on my front screen? You know, it's getting weird if I put... I'm doing it right now, by the way. Allstate and Travelers on my front screen. Because of plunging oil, which was down another $3 today. Airlines, good day. Cruise lines did nothing today. But airlines. And going back to medical, the Biotech, even some of the research names which have been terrible, starting to get going, like a Stryker may be turning the corner. There's a couple of names at highs, symbol GH and DVA. Biotech ETFs broke out this week a little bit. And the United Health Group is getting better too. Restaurants better. Nothing spectacular though. And retail had a good day today. Bad day yesterday though. And there's really not much in the way of leadership except Victoria's Secret strong. That's one name. Crocs had a good day today. But Ross Stores broke down yesterday. And we'll see if anything else shows up. Oils, nah. Because oil prices. The metals and mining area, terrible. Steel is now completely topped out. So that whole thing, the copper, aluminum, steel thing, gone. Gold had a good day today with silver. That's bouncing, but that's just oversold. And I wouldn't go further than that. So changes. Oh, banks too. Interesting enough, Goldman was down 45 today. JP Morgan down 6. Morgan Stanley down 9. But the KBE and the KRE, which is the regional banks, was up today. Changes. And we'll keep you apprised. What hasn't changed, Nvidia just, and that's semis, down another 3 and change today, near the 200-day moving average. Google down another 6 today. That's been under a lot of pressure. Remember, Apple was down like 18 yesterday. Something weird happened at the close today. I know it wasn't triple witching, but just so you know, Apple went from 281 up to 286 in 1 minute. In 1 minute. And then dropped back down. But still finished up. I got it at up 7.5 today. Bouncing off of yesterday. And as you know, they're raising prices on some stuff. And just some wicked moves in the last 5 minutes. Even in the software, I was noticing CrowdStrike. By the way, a lot of it happened late. CrowdStrike went from 694 to 703 in a couple of minutes right into the close. So some of the software got piled. Datadog went from 236 to 242 in 1 minute. So the institutions, I guess, waited for the close and somebody pounded on them. Palo Alto went from 302 to 306 in 3 minutes at the close. And I got a Snowflake 244 to 249 in 2 minutes at the close. While Micron went from 1150 down to 1125 in a few minutes near the close. It was all over the place. Anyway. Changes. And again, when something breaks out, we don't know if it's going to go or fail. When something breaks down, we don't know if it's going to keep going down. We never know duration. As much as people on TV give you targets, that's my favorite thing. Yeah, my target for the end of 2026. They're so full of crap, they don't know. They keep parading this guy that told us 125,000 for Bitcoin at the end of December of 25, like a month before. Then he said end of January, and now he doesn't even talk about it anymore. By the way, Bitcoin bounced a wee bit today. Nothing spectacular. And in the Dow today, that only finished down 44. By the way, even the Dow, you ready for this? And by the way, I wish I was making this up. The Dow, in the last 30 seconds, went up 100 points. It was down, but the minute before that went down 160. So in the minute 3:59 minute went down 160. 358 minute. In the 359 minute, it went up back 100. Finished down 44, and it finished down 44 even though Caterpillar was down 60. And that's an AI play. 6 times 4 is 24. That's 270 Dow points. Goldman was down 45. Between Goldman and Caterpillar, you were down about 700 Dow points. So how is that possible? By the way, they were down 105 points between the two. You know what that means? Everything else was up 105. Well, Microsoft 20, United Health 12, that's 32, Travelers, that's 41, Visa 46, Sherwin was 51, McDonald's even bounced, that's 56, IBM, that's 69, Johnson & Johnson 79, Salesforce.com 87, Apple 94, Amazon bounced 99, that's been bearish. So there you got it. Home Depot was up 3, Merck was up 3, Coke was up 2. So wild stuff today, kids. That's all I can tell you. But back to my main point. I think we got some changes going on. And we found out something else today. Because Iran, I think, blew up a boat or something, and the president said something, but the president didn't do anything. Remember what we told you. There ain't going to be no more attacks. It's all now about midterm elections. And unfortunately, when Trump loses and the Democrats get the House, unfortunately, Trump's going to pull another one that the election was rigged, which pisses me off and should piss you off. Expect that. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what's going to go on. And let's hope there's not another J6. He's still saying every day that the elections were rigged. I can't tell you how that irks me. Oh, but Gary, it was. I get emails from people. That say 9/11 was an inside job. And we didn't land on the moon. Seriously, I get it. And they're serious. What can I tell you? Believe what you want. That's all. So, semis AI, odds favor, bounces at best now. Sellers have taken over. And do not forget, the big moves are based on pricing from the spend from the big guys that I've been saying all along, how are they going to keep this up forever? We'll see. We'll stay on top of it. We just think that the AI semi-trade hit a darn good bump. While other things, and again, we think there'll be plenty of things that don't break, and we're going to watch them like hawks. But right now, the jets are cooled there. While the money is flowing into, again, software had a good day, finally. I don't know whether that lasts, but those 7 names we mentioned, and I'll have to look at others. Medicals of all sorts right now, including the managed care United Health. Insurance, got a few. Food and beverage, tobacco, household products, but little better on the consumer restaurants. Airlines, if you want to invest in airlines. Up next, what the hell is going on? I'll explain what the hell. That's up next on Investor's Edge. Yesterday, we made the comment that, Bernie Sanders is a socialist Marxist, but we don't think he's dangerous. But the people like Mandami of New York City, dangerous, and I do believe are evil. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what they do. In case you don't know, 3 people won their primaries up in New York, that are America haters, Jew haters. I believe they hate the West, and they are communist control freaks. Just so you know what communism is, it's just control over your life. You're just a frickin' number. That's what it is. Even the mayor of New York, actually, he's not afraid to tell you. He even said it. The means of production. They want to run everything. So his latest move, he got his little minions to vote a 2-year rent freeze on a bazillion amount of apartments in New York City. I'm putting it up here. 2-year rent freeze for nearly 1 million apartments. I can call him a Jew hate or whatever. My interest is that it can destroy the city. Just so you know, anybody who's tried rent controls, it's never worked. That's the other thing. They have all the evidence in the world that communism, socialism, Marxism doesn't work, but they still do it because it's all about, I'm a control freak. You know, when I say to you Trump is a socialist and an autocrat, he is. A lot of things he does is to be in control of everything. He even tells you that. And let's hope he doesn't get worse. So, tenants in about 1 million rent-stabilized apartments will not see their rent increases for the next 2 years. Voted 7-1. It applies to rent-stabilized apartments in buildings with 6 or more units built before 1974. As well, I don't need to get into that. Here's the problem, and I want you to listen carefully. Who owns those buildings? Oh, that's right, people. If inflation goes up, or they need to fix the place. What if one of these apartments has a bad leak or pipes bust? Do you know what happens when you're part of a homeowners association and things get done? Sometimes they come out and said, oh, we need to assess $300, or we need to... You get my point. You know what's going to happen. You guessed it. I don't even need to say it. He just kicked the owners of these apartments in the teeth. The means of ownership. I didn't know they'd be able to get away with that, but I guess they are. They tried it in Venezuela. Well, they destroyed Venezuela, just, running everything into the ground. But we just want to let you know. You go read about it, but we're not done. There's now calls from the Marxist Party. They want a $25 minimum wage. Really? So how many businesses will shut down if you mandate a $25 minimum wage? A crap load. That's how many. You see, I'm a big believer that people are nice, they're generous, they want to pay you well. And of course, if you start out in high school or whatever and you work at McDonald's, you start out at a certain level and go from there. But if you are mandated, you get 25, here's what happens. Kiosks and less people working. That's all. None of these people who keep promoting these things even thinks about the successful owner that got there through time, sweat, toil, capital, failure, success. Because most of these people putting the rules on have never had frickin' jobs. Bernie Sanders has never had a job in the real world. Every dime he's ever made is off the taxpayer. But we're not done. There's a billionaire tax in California they're putting on for a vote. And they did a poll and a bunch of Californians said we like it. Every freaking billionaire is going to leave California. And they're going to lose all that tax base. Oh, wait, hold on. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, who actually doesn't like it in California, wants to do it nationally. He thinks billionaires, they can't go to any other state. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go domicile in Monte Carlo in Monaco and the Cayman Islands and the Bahamas. They're going to run for the frickin' hills. People because they became wealthy. Remember what Marxists, socialists, and communists do. Follow the frickin' money. And of course, they all run deficits. They all spend poorly, like Trump. And I must tell you, unfortunately, this thinking is growing louder and wider. A little bit on the worry side. There's a reason why everybody's coming to Florida. They get it here in Florida. But we now have a governor's race, and I got to tell you, it's amazing that it's even close. We'll keep you informed. You have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Have a great weekend. Good night.